Now, look, I am well aware that there are not a lot of people that like Condoleezza Rice. I happen to admire the woman for what she had to deal with in her time as Secretary of State and National Security Advisor because she really got it bad from mainstream media and got it really bad from the Democrats. And she is a very intelligent woman. Um, now, she was educated by Joseph Kerbal. Most people don't know who Joseph Kerbal is. He is Madeleine Albright's father. Yes, Bill Clinton's Secretary of State. He was he had been the Czech ambassador to Yugoslavia, was the country's representative to the UN Commission for India and Pakistan, serving as chair. Um, he went to University of Denver, where he founded the Graduate School of International Studies and served as its first dean. And this is one of the people that educated Condoleezza Rice. Very interesting pedigree there. But in this clip, it's a little over 4 minutes. I'm going to let you hear a nuanced approach to what she thinks of what Trump is trying to do, him and Marco Rubio are trying to do at the Department of State and USAID. And this isn't a political gotcha game or anything like that. She's actually giving a valid, nuanced response that people should listen to. So, if you like this sort of thing, hit like and subscribe, and here we go.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Let's jump there, Jake and Condi, to the State Department. There's been a lot of discussion about the neutralization and dismantlement of USAID, America's role in the world. I'm interested in whether or not, again, these are subjects, again, going back to my Bartlesville, Oklahoma family. They don't really worry too much about USAID. They think it probably was a distraction and you know, was something that was, again, undermining their core interests. And it's just very interesting to go back and feel that. Even when you go to speak to World Affairs Councils around the country in small towns, as I do, you can sort of feel not a complete embrace of President Trump, but something where they say, wow, he's really got his thumb on something that the strategic class in Washington is not feeling. So I want to give you an opportunity to kind of respond to what was left vulnerable to be hacked away when you left office. And Secretary Rice, I know you want to respond on the USAID issue as well. Jake?
I defer to the Secretary of State. That's what national security advisors are supposed to do, right? No? Yes.
Absolutely.
Never?
That's right. Yeah.
No, I'm happy to answer, but I want to let Condi
the nice thing for Marco is he doesn't have to defer. He can defer to
That's right.
himself,
He defers
which
to
is
himself.
Henry Kissinger's want as well. Look, I think I am well known, and I have every credential imaginable, as somebody who believes in foreign assistance, who believes in the compassion agenda, who was a part of the creation of PEPFAR, part of the tripling and quadrupling of aid to Africa, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But the State Department was in bad need of reform. Now, I have enormous respect for Foreign Service officers. I think they're among the best and the brightest. But I will just tell you a little story. When I became Secretary of State, I was asked to do a birthday message to the President of Bulgaria. It said, "Dear Mr. President, happy birthday and long live Bulgarian-American friendship." It had 10 people clear it. Right? So I think if, you know, frankly, if I had not been fighting two wars, I probably would have tried to reform the State Department. And so I'm going to wait and see how this reform of the State Department works. I think there are too many layers in the Department of State. And when it comes to USAID, I'm on record as having never favored USAID as an independent agency. In Britain, DFID, as it's called, was an independent agency, then it wasn't, then it was. And the minister or the foreign secretary always had trouble coordinating what was done through this independent agency. The person who ran USAID for me is Henrietta Fore. I think she's someplace in the audience. Right. And what I did, yeah, she did a great job. But what I did was I made her both Deputy Secretary of State and Administrator of USAID. And we forced integration by forcing the Assistant Secretary for, say, Africa and the Assistant Administrator for Africa to come together and present their budget together. So I think that, you know, I don't love the way that everything was done. I especially think the Doge period was a bit of an experiment that ran a little wild. But I have a lot of confidence in Marco Rubio. I know what he thinks about the tools that the United States needs for foreign policy. And I also know that the State Department is in bad need of reform.
And Mark Warner said we're not seeing the real Marco Rubio. Do you think we're
seeing
the real Marco Rubio?
I'm not going to even go there, all right? I think it's really a little bit insulting to try and talk about the real Marco Rubio. We've all known him for years. And he's a competent believer in American power and its exercise. And I think you're starting to see elements of that. But when it comes to the reform of the State Department, I just want to say I think that the State Department is badly in need of reform. Right. And we will see how this comes out. But I'm prepared to wait and see.
Now, whether you like her or lump her, she's giving a balanced approach to things. She's talking from experience. She's somebody that's been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. Now, if you don't like her, okay, fine. But she is giving one of the most valid reasons for what Trump is doing. She may not appreciate everything that he's doing, but she knows that it needs to be done. And I agree with her, I agree with Trump, and I agree with Rubio. These things need to be changed. And it needs to be fixed, and nobody else was doing it. Even though everybody kept talking about it, Trump finally did it. Rubio finally did it. And you're hearing from somebody who had to deal with it that knew why it needed to be done. Now, you can have your personal opinions on Condoleeza Rice. You can have your personal opinions on Rubio, Trump, whatever. But it needed to be done. And if you don't like the way that it was done, well, you should have elected somebody that would have done it. But nobody was ever elected that actually did it. So this is what's going on. So, getting back to this has been Paul, the Redneck Thinker. Y'all hit like and subscribe now. Y'all have a good day now. Bye. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.